All right, cool. So I made up for Six String Samurai. Didn't I?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I feel. Yeah.
This one is a Trauma release. A Trauma American Fortress. Or Fortress of America.
Of America.
With 3 Ks.
Yes,
Instead of
that's
the
very
C.
important.
Instead of the
Thank you.
normal K.
Yep. Set this up here.
Cool. Yeah, this is the kind of movie that I feel like what we do is made for.
Oh yeah.
Totally, it's amazing.
And I could watch this movie all day.
Yeah.
Could, like,
It feels like it could go forever.
like a Netflix series.
The back of the box. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release. The back of the box said 1989, but the calendar in the movie
87.
said 87.
Yeah.
So maybe it was filmed 87 and then
got
released
released.
in 89.
Yep.
I don't know anything about the director. I know Lloyd Kaufman was a producer. He's like the trauma dude.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Eric
Yeah.
Lozul
Yeah,
is the director.
yeah.
I'd probably say it's that Frenchman dude that was gonna have his way with the Asian girl.
just to
That's
get
probably
put himself in
Yeah.
like Seagal does.
Yeah.
yeah. He always finds the one hot Asian to have a disgusting sex scene with. Let's do these shots.
Yep.
Real quick. Cheers.
Yours looks darker for some reason.
It's a lot of whiskey. Yeah, it was.
Ooh. So, story of this movie,
Story.
if there is one. Well, you get a little bit of one.
They kind of preload you in the beginning of the film
Mm.
with the kind of dub speaking.
I feel like you remember that speech, so you go ahead.
Well, he just kind of laid it out about in America, the American people are all victims of corrupt county offices and corporate militias hiding in the woods looking to gain. You know, they kind of set up this sort of
Yeah,
geopolitical
something like
thing.
that. Yeah, something like
And then
Yeah.
it just kind of cuts to your standard just
Johnny Whiteclaw. What's his name?
Johnny Whiteclaw.
John Whitecloud.
That's
White
his hipster, new hipster cousin. Yeah,
Gene
2020.
LeBlanc, yeah.
from John Whitecloud. So it almost sets up like Rambo. You've got the guy coming into town. The sheriff doesn't want him in there.
He just got out
Get
of
the
prison.
fuck out. Get the fuck out. We don't want your kind here.
Yeah.
But what we learn is that the sheriff does know him. The sheriff had apparently killed his brother in a shootout, and this guy just got out of prison. He's our Native American sort of a.
I couldn't tell.
Kind of
But
reminded me of Keanu.
He looks to me he looks like Tom Cruise.
yeah.
That's why I said poor man's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, great value. Tom
He actually
Cruise.
wasn't bad. I mean as far as people in this movie go, he was fine.
Yeah.
But he's just in this town, the tiny town of Trauma City or Trauma Town or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Because I think this is set in the same universe of another trauma movie.
Really?
Well,
Is
they
what
said-
it is.
They were talking about in the quiet city of something, California, and then when you're at the police department, it shows a map of Washington.
I mean, it looked like Washington. I mean, I've never been to Washington, but it was very picturesque. Like,
Yeah.
the locations were in the forest and stuff were really nice. They're
Yeah.
beautiful. And it's just very tiny town. Dickhead, weird sheriff talks like a
How's it going?
yeah,
Like a
almost
veteran boxer.
like a
We don't like you Indians.
what's
Did
the,
you get yourself an
what's the
Indian?
guy's name that did King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead?
Oh,
That guy.
Bill Dotree.
No,
No,
it's the actual name of the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Judge.
Yeah,
Mike
Mike Judge.
Judge.
Yeah, he sounds like a Mike Judge character.
Yeah.
So you've got this guy. He's coming to town, and he's just as soon as he gets to town, he just goes in a cave and mopes about his dead brother.
Oh, well, before that, he goes to buy a shotgun.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's when he runs to the sheriff. The sheriff's like,
1987 America.
"You got a day to get out."
Day out of jail, and he's buying a shotgun.
Yeah, that's
Can
right.
I sell this man just one shotgun?
And I need 20 boxes of shells. He said, 20 boxes. Like he's ready for a shootout. So we got that, and then we have this completely separate from him. We have this This is the
militia
some of the
group?
most insane shit I've ever seen. There's this fucking paramilitary something group in the woods, and anybody they run into, they just kill.
Because their location can't been.
And they say they're just like no prisoners, and they just fucking. One of the first ones we see is this old man. They say he's a prospector, like he's panning for gold or whatever. Man's got no teeth.
Yeah.
Old guy. He's sitting in his car, and they just run up on him, and he's like, "What's going on?" They tie his legs to a tree.
Yep.
They tie his legs to the bumper of the car. They tie his arms to a tree.
Yeah.
And then, the leader of this group, this fucking haggard, grizzled, wrinkled up, crazy looking motherfucker. He's like leaning over him, and the camera's right in close to his face. And they're having this conversation. The old guy's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" He's like, "You got in the way of our operation." He's like, "What? Just shoot me."
Yeah.
No. You cost us time and trouble. We're gonna we gotta kill you in a fucked up way because you kind of annoyed us.
Yeah, you annoyed us. You caused us time and trouble. Let's take up more time
And
killing
he's like,
you.
"Why?" And they drive the car away, rip his arms off, and the guy you see you actually see it's fairly gory, some
Yeah.
of it, a little bit. Just drive away with him screaming. They kill some campers and
Oh yeah,
they
blow up
The
their
opening
tent.
scene is
It's
when they
insane.
come up on the dude and the chick having intercourse in the tent with the balloons.
Balloons
and
in the
shit.
tent.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. They murder him. His eyeball pops out.
Yeah, no prisoners.
Yeah. And the one guy's like, "Hey, she's pretty hot. We should have some fun with her." He's like, "No prisoners." Blow up the tent. So they pile the girl's still alive, and they throw her boyfriend's body in there, and they blow the tent up with them.
We thought it was a car
Burn
fire,
them
but
alive.
turns out it was from that militia group.
And so then you just see this fucking militia running around, just killing random people, and then just saying it's like, "We can't be found out."
They don't ever explain why they're there besides the old man going, "I'm waiting on orders."
At
Getting
the
an airdrop out
near-
of here.
okay. They never near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
We'll skip ahead and then go back. But near the end of the movie, he's like, "Yeah, we're waiting for orders to go on our mission."
Yeah,
That's why. And then the fucking sheriff knew they're in there
Yeah.
because
everybody knows they're
at
in
one
that
point
area.
he's like, he tells his traveler, this woman, he's like, "Yeah, be careful. There's this crazy paramilitary fucking militia.
Let me know if you see anything suspicious
Yeah.
out there in the woods." And then he's
They're
like,
running around acting crazy." And then they're like, "We've got all these fucking bodies everywhere. These
paramilitaries, soldiers of fortune, mercenaries.
This
you know,
woman had their name carved into her chest." And they're just like, "Look out for them." I
Yep.
don't know.
We don't know where they're at, but let us know.
I can't stress how crazy this movie is. We've seen a lot of crazy shit. It's the perfect, and I know I bring up Barry J. Gillis a lot, but it feels like one of his movies where nothing really makes sense. There's no continuity,
Yeah,
and the characters, everybody speaks in kind of a really weird way. Okay, maybe not quite
Some of
to
the
the level of
voiceover.
Barry J. Gillis, but there's no actual. It's just you've got the militia doing crazy shit, and then you've got our Indian man
There's a whole
just hanging out. And
there's a whole sub
Doing his
story about Johnny Whiteclaw or Johnny
Johnny
Whiteclaw. I like
Johnny
Johnny
Whiteclaw.
Whiteclaw.
Johnny
Johnny Whiteclaw gets
you just
out
go
of
with
jail,
Johnny White.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets out of jail, his ex-girlfriend that watched his brother die
Mhm.
is like, "I gotta go see him. I don't care if I'm engaged." So there's this whole sub-story where she's
in bed with her fiance.
with her
Yeah.
fiance and talking about, "I just gotta go see him," and you're talking about Johnny
Expressions.
Whiteclaw, aren't you? And like,
The look on that guy's face. It's very. I mean, listen.
He's the first person I made love with.
he was like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, I just have to go talk to him one more time, and he's just like,
We all know what that means.
yeah,
Oh, he did.
clothes.
he knew he was finished at
Yeah.
that point. He knew it.
Well, and that whole thing goes on. She breaks Johnny Whiteclaw back out of jail again.
Mm-hmm.
pulls a revolver
with the help of her
with
fiance.
the help of her
Yes.
fiance. They're all family now. They've decided in 1987 that they're going to be the pioneers of polyamory. And for the rest of he ends up shacking up with a blonde.
The juggy blonde.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie is him helping the whole gang out,
One of my favorite scenes in this movie. There's a lot of them, but one of them. So there's this camping group, and the blonde girl was with them. It was there's this Asian chick with like bleached blonde hair and just enormous torpedo fake titties, like, incredible. The kind of incredible fake titties you don't see anymore.
That's a 3D era.
You don't
right
see them.
there.
You don't see them nowadays. But the two girls and this one dude, and they're camping. They get caught. The couple gets caught. The blonde chick runs away, but the couple gets caught. The Asian girl with the jug.
Yeah.
And then they're in this they get taken back to the militia camp, and she's fucking tied up to like a post in this in the tent. And the dude is tied up, hands behind his back, down on the floor. And then she's like, this Russian guy, this enormous Russian guy.
He's saying some stuff, and she's like, "That's okay. We're in an open relationship."
Yeah, she's like, she is so into it.
Clowning.
She's getting into it, the Russian. And then another dude comes in.
Yep.
Another dude. And we're about to get some fucking Eiffel Tower shit going on here. Yeah, where it's like, dude manages to untie his bonds. As you said, none of these guys can tie a knot.
Every knot in this. Every.
But you're right.
Yeah, they can't tie now.
And so she looked down. She was ready for these two guys. She was like, whatever I need to do, and I'm also kind of into it. And then they end up. He gets a gun. He ends up shooting the two guys. They run away, and then they have this conversation in the forest.
Oh my God.
This is what I want to get to, the conversation in the forest, where she's like, I'm sorry, baby, I gave up too easily. and then it goes into this speech about this, but then it's like this thing about like
America, it's
you're
right. We're
like
Americans.
You're right. There's freedom, but then there's also responsibility, and then there's all this shit about. It's really weird.
I shouldn't have got mad at you for you enjoying yourselves with those two guys.
Yes,
that's your right and freedom.
Right.
As
he's
a
like,
citizen.
I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry. You're a free citizen. You can enjoy that if you want to. And then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I enjoyed that, but I kind of wanted to, but then you saved me.
Yeah,
it was so fucking funny. It's so funny.
I like it because for a second the movie got serious. He was talking about American values and defending democracy and then and then he just turned it around. He's like, it's your right to be groped by the mercenaries, by God, like that's what you want. It's just,
I haven't laughed this hard since New York Ninja. Definitely, it's real. There's just so many weird moments
during that time where she was getting groped by the two dudes. You had old Snake Charmer in the other tent with a militia group partying, and then Fire Breather. Everybody was just having a good old
Snake
time.
Charmer's fire swallowers. Yeah.
So this, and they're doing these fucking chants like, Fortress of America. They're doing this shit like they're this elite group. And
murder, stone cold murder.
And they're just going around killing all these random people because it's for the mission, right? It's just so serious. We can't let anybody know. This is so important. And then it goes to this fucking, they're in the tent, and the fucking colonel, who's like, this guy should have been in Apocalypse Now, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
He's in there, and they have this fucking snake dancer stripper chick.
Someone they clearly invited. This was not someone that was
we
already
can't let anybody know where we're at.
And he's like standing there like,
oh, he's getting in.
They've got the snake girl, and then they got the fucking old ass out of retirement fire breather woman, and they're having this fucking party. this was at the same time as
the groping,
a three-way, the devil's three-way
potential
potential.
to happen.
Yeah.
This is all the same time, and it's just like they're just having this crazy fucking party. I feel like they're. I want to think that Lloyd Kaufman is trying to speak toward the military-industrial complex, and the elites they're just out there partying while they're sending your kids out to die. I don't know. I think that's what they wanted to do, but it's just like all this random nonsense, and it's so funny.
It felt like
It's so fucking funny.
the way the movie, like the scenes broke down. It felt like at their office they said, "This is the skeleton baseline of what the movie's going to be."
Oh yeah.
And then they passed it. All right, you're going to write the first scene. Boom, write that scene. Pass, because just the way that it was written and everything kind of came together. It was loosely based on the same movie.
It feels like
it was,
individual scenes just pieced
Exactly,
together.
yeah.
It
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
feels like that. Yeah,
Definitely.
it definitely does. should we go
Yeah,
scores?
let's go to scores.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Oh, definitely 5.
Yeah.
This is an amazing movie. I love it. Hands down. Perfect amount of insanity. There's some gore. There's a lot of nudity. Nothing makes sense.
the subtitles.
But the thing is, yeah, Patrick did me a solid on that. It's just when we talk about bad movies and then bad movies, this is entertaining bad.
Yep.
Not boring bad. This is entertaining bad, and it is top notch on that level. It's a fantastic. I loved it every minute, and maybe it stretched on a little bit too long near the end. But you know, to get into the plot, it does sort of come together at the end, where we do have the two threads meet, where we've got the militia and then Johnny Whiteclaw end up fighting, and there's this enormous battle with the town versus the military group in the forest, and it's really funny and stupid. And half the people fighting don't have guns; they're just running at. I don't know if you guys noticed it. If you look in the back of the crowd, there are just people like, I don't know if it was some sort
all
of
the guns up front.
I don't know if it's like some sort of like fucking Soviet Russia winter situation where it's like pick up the gun to the guy that dies next to you kind of thing, but
we're all sick of it. They gathered a heck of a posse, I'll tell you what.
they had a posse and they were ready to fight.
Gathered.
And that final battle was fucking hilarious. It was so bad. There you go.
Yeah.
One of you guys.
I'd give it a 5 too. Exactly the same thing you said, but if it was like a 6-hour film, I feel like I could watch the whole thing. It's better fighting than the Two Towers, where that's just a giant battle.
You just sink into the madness.
Yeah.
It's a binge watch.
Accept,
Yeah.
5 for me. Yeah.
I didn't get to talk about my favorite character, which was the guy who ended up killing the colonel, which was just the super muscular dude with no hair up top.
Mm-hmm.
And he said maybe like 2 lines the whole time, but he's just super muscular, faked his own death, came back, just shoots him.
But he's the guy that initially beat up Johnny Whiteclaw because he was an Indian.
Yeah, that's right. They came into his.
He was Indian asking for a toe, and
he's like, I
don't like you people.
Yeah. What do you say that someone made the joke that was like the tow truck is we're out of tow trucks.
Oh,
and then
the fuel pump first. He's like, hey, we just need a fuel pump. Fresh out of parts.
Fresh out of parts.
Yeah.
And then someone said they're all out of tow trucks too. It cuts over to the tow truck. And then they said, our tow truck's broken down or something. And I was just like, And then they just started to beat him up for apparent racism.
And then they arrested him for getting beaten up.
Yeah. They arrested him for getting,
And then the girl for accessory for getting beaten up.
accessory for getting beaten up. Well, don't get beat up. Don't be with nerds getting beat up. This is going to be a 5 for me too. It was exactly that. It wasn't incredibly. It was a good movie. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
It's a perfect good bad movie.
Yeah.
Good bad movie. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Thank you, Troma.
Thank you.
One of your classics.
You've had a few classics.
Yeah.
A handful of classics, Troma.